So I want today to talk about this whole idea of this real and unreal. I've spoken about it many times in the past, but today I want to give you a much closer perspective. You see, what's happened to all of us is that all our lives we have lived in this body, and we've believed it to be real because it is real. And all that we have experienced so far has been through the body, because body is a vehicle. Body is what carries something which we have not been aware of, and what we are not aware of means we have no knowledge about it. What we have no knowledge about, we call it ignorance. What we are ignorant about, we are either scared of it, we are afraid of it, or we are apprehensive about it, we are anxious about it. There is a sense of uncertainty about it. And we, by nature's human being, we love certainty. And we want outcomes to be planned and outcomes to be executed according to a certain plan. And that's planning process and that safety process, this need for outcomes means a result. So there's an action and there's a result. So we never do anything without thinking of an outcome. And that is what gave rise to the mind. Because when you need an outcome and then you're thinking about certainty and you are planning about this certainty, you need safety, security, and so we start planning scenarios. And that planning of scenarios is called thinking. So it gives rise to thinking. So that, and therefore, our mind keeps creating situations about how do we make our future more secure? How do we make our experiences secure? And it starts to give thoughts about what might come in the way, what could be the challenges on the path. And so these we call as worries. And then worries give rise to anxieties. So the real reason behind it is that we are all seeking certainty in life. And therefore this whole mind and body function comes together. So therefore we believe that for solving every problem of ours and for living a happy life, we need the mind. And to do actions, we need the body. So therefore, we are a body and mind duo. So the body doesn't function on its own; it needs the mind, and the mind, what it decides, it plans, and it has expected outcomes and scenarios. It needs the body to execute. So they are a team. It's a partnership, and we've used this partnership of the body and the mind to successfully negotiate all the challenges that have come in our life, and we have reached where we are today. Whatever we know, whatever we've done, whatever we have created in this life is because of this. And then suddenly a third dimension comes in. We start experiencing some irrational, unknown, energetic experience, some kind of an inclination towards seeking the truth of some questions that start coming out of nowhere, and we we get drawn to certain people or teachers. We start to get drawn to different set of people from whom we want to hear certain things, and there are certain other things that we used to be always a part of, or meeting and having conversations in a certain way, or having done work in a certain way, suddenly starts becoming meaningless, and you start to run away from it, and you wonder, what is this happening to us? We were like normal set of people, and we were leading a very normal balanced life. We had careers and businesses and professions, and suddenly that doesn't appeal to you any longer. So, but there is something else. We start having experiences. We feel that there is a presence. We start feeling guided. We start feeling, things happen magically. We start experiencing synchronicities. And then, some of us start experiencing high amounts of energy in our body. And we start getting confused. What is real is is what we have lived so far using the body and mind duo. Is that real? Because it seems real, because uh, everybody in the society seems to be doing that, and that seems to be the norm. And it has been taught to us in schools. We've used it very successfully. So of course it must be real, and therefore uh, that's how the script is, that's how the matrix is, that is how the box that has been made for us, and therefore we've existed always in this box. Now suddenly there are strange things beginning to happen to us. There are strange experiences that start coming to us, and the mind has no understanding of it. And the problem with mind is it wants to understand everything. It keeps asking why to everything. It wants to know the why, it wants to know the what, it wants to know the when, it wants to know the where. But these synchronicities and these experiences, this energetic presence has no answer for it. And then what does the mind do? Because it doesn't understand it, either it rejects it, or it starts to now investigate. And it's we start to read books, we start to go to masters, we start seeing videos. But because the mind doesn't have any experience of it, we cannot make any sense out of it. And the more we try to make sense of it, the more it eludes us. So so we fall into a trap of trying to solve a problem of which the root cause is the mind, by applying our mind. It's like a blind man is trying to help us to find the way. So if the blind could see, it could actually tell us. So if the mind could experience it, then perhaps it could understand it. But since the mind has not been given the capacity to experience anything, that's a domain of the heart, and the mind only tries to understand what it knows. What it doesn't know, it rejects it. So and this path, the pathless path, or the path of experiencing the truth of the self, has no books written on it which can tell us exactly what it means, what the experience is, because the experience changes for everybody. And and over a period of time, this experience leads us through temporary, transitory, fleeting experiences. It takes us ultimately to the final experience, right? It's a journey. But the problem in this journey is that we are, because we have lived this life for so long of believing the external world, which is the mind has created, which we have been part of, and now when we start to go into a unknown path, on an unknown journey inwards, we get caught up between the two. And because we are not able to use our understanding of this path, we get caught up and we get sidetracked and we start to get into the trap that the mind lays for us. And we start reacting and we start falling into the the clutches of the mind because of sheer conditioning. Okay, that was the reason why we did the Atma Chalisa, and that's why we wrote the book The Pathless Path, because we wanted to make us everybody understand what this journey of life is about, what are the challenges on the way, and how do we equip ourselves to gain this direct experience ourselves. Okay, because once the experience comes, there's no need to define it, there is no need to explain it. It cannot be explained also, but it can be experienced. And therefore, what the Vedas said, that it's a path of direct experience. Let's go and walk that path. So, but when you walk this path, it is important to know every aspect of that path, so that when you are walking and when the mind will play its tricks, we are secure in our understanding of that it is the mind which is coming in, it is the mind which wants to know. So I keep telling this, that the most useless question in this universe, if you are on a spiritual path, is why? Why is a, a, a question statement is used for all those who follow the path of the mind? Because in mind, we want to understand rationally and logically. What is rationality? Rationality means which has a basis. What is this basis? Basis is something which has past precedence. There is something which has been well established as a fact or a law. Now, who decides it? Scientists decide it, right? It is taught in our textbooks in school. It is taught in our high school, in university, in professional courses. But nobody taught us courses on spirituality. Nobody taught us on how to directly experience it. So therefore, it is not rational. And therefore, because it is not established as a precedence, therefore we go back to what we are comfortable with. And we keep getting, as we travel on this journey inwards, and when the why comes in, instead of checking ourselves and stopping ourselves from asking this why, because in the path of experience there is no why. In the path of experience there is only an experience. And when you get sufficient experiences on the path, you are able to develop what we call insight. You develop an inner understanding of this journey. But if you start getting into the trap of asking yourself this, why this is happening to me, why this is happening, why this is take place, why, then you're trying to go inwards in your heart, but you're using your mind to go inwards. Can you actually go inwards by using your mind? You cannot. So therefore, all those efforts are bound to fail, and they make you react, and you become miserable, and you start judging people, and then you start getting into all sorts of knots. And that's how we have been. That's why we have taken so many births, because we start applying our mind into everything. Yeah. So that's why we say, on this path of the real, which is the inward path, you have to first let go of the outer illusion which you have considered to be the truth for so long. And you were trained into this. You have to let go. You have to forget. You have to erase. I know it's difficult to erase. So what do? That's why Krishna said, that is why every guru will tell you, please surrender. Because, it's otherwise the mind is so active. That's why you need a guru to surrender to the feet of, because the guru is one person that we trust in our life. Okay? Because otherwise we are not willing to trust anybody. We don't even trust our own selves. We are willing to trust our mind because the mind has, been a useful tool for us. But just imagine this mind becomes the biggest stumbling block. We are so confused. We want to go inwards, but we want to hold on to the outer experiences and outer relationships. We are so contradictory. We never actually think that if I take one step forward and at the same time I take one step backward, am I ever going to move? I'm going to just stay there. In fact, we take one step forward and we take two steps backwards in our mind. And then what happens? We find ourselves that we were actually, you know, one step minus only. We've never moved really forward. So that is the dilemma. That is the quagmire. That is the Chakravyu where Abhimanyu got stuck. We all, we move some forward and then we kind of regress. So for that, in the end, Krishna said, "Oh Dhananjaya, please surrender to me and listen to what I have to tell you. Believe in me that I know the path and I can take you out of this whirlpool, this Chakravyu, this quagmire where you are stuck, right? And I know you are a very intelligent person. I know you are a very successful archer. And I know that all of you here present are very successful in your chosen fields and you are great, accomplished people. But please surrender all your intelligence and all your accomplishments and all your attachments and all your relationships in which you keep investing at the feet of the Master, the Guru. And then only that grace will come, because as long as you keep using your mind, I can assure you that you are not going to take any step forward. Because it's like, trying to move forward with your waist has been tied, to a pole or a pillar behind. So you can try as much to try and walk forward. You cannot, because there is something else that is pulling you back. So if you want to move forward on the path, then you have to move forward and you have to let go of what you have used in the past. Okay? And it cannot be, you cannot be in the two boats at the same time. This boat has to be very clear. If this is my goal of life and this is what I seek, then I must let go of the other safety, security, in whatever terms you think your life is secure. As long as those attachments are there, they will keep holding you back. They will keep pulling you back, and they will never allow you to move forward. And if this in this lifetime we have chosen only to be theoretical about it and only to have a good experience, and you don't want to let go of anything, right? If you do not decide today that what is your goal, what is your priority, what is it that you seek at the exclusion of everything else. So when I ask, who am I to you? Somebody said, I'm a guru. I said, so what does a guru mean? That, I can do anything for the guru. I said, can you give your life for me? Then there was silence. Because we have not understood what this path is. So if we have clarity of what we are really seeking out of this life, if it is something that I need to understand and enjoy along with everything else, then it will remain at a mind level and you can understand and enjoy your world. But if you really want to experience the joy, that ananda, that bliss which is inside, if you really want that, then you have to let go of that inferior enjoyment that you want to hold on to. You cannot hold and you cannot enjoy both of them. And it's, if you use your logical natural mind, then you will know what I'm saying is the truth. But if you want to play safe in life, then you just remain safe. But only those, that's why they say this path is not for the weak hearted, it is for the adventurer. America and India was discovered only by those who adventured into new lands, and they reaped rich benefits of it. But those who like to remain home and who like to remain in the safe waters, and they want security and comfort and safety, then that is exactly what they continue to get. If we are not willing to sacrifice anything and we are not willing to let go, what we have enjoyed so far, that we have done. What we have not done is what we have to do. And to do that, what we have to let go, we have to let go. But if you keep holding on, we keep saying, I'm not moving, I'm not getting it, I'm not getting it, I'm not getting it, because you're not letting go. I've given this example many times in the past. And I'm sure all of you would have heard this many times before, but I'm still going to say it. You know the difference between man and monkey? The monkey, when it wants to travel, it swings from one branch of a tree to another and it keeps swinging. So, what is its action? It grabs hold of one branch with its right hand, it swings itself forward, grabs a branch with the left hand, leaves the branch that it was holding with the right hand, propels itself forward, then holds a new branch with the right hand, and then propels itself forward, and then goes and grabs another branch with its left hand. Right? So, if we want to move forward, the monkey clearly understands that it will have to let go of one branch at a time, and it has to have this faith and understanding that with his other arm or his other hand, he will propel itself and there will be another branch to hold. But you know what we do? We want this material world and this our safety and comforts in one hand. We don't want to let go, and we want to hold on and grab to another one, which is called spiritually. And we said we want self-realization, we want this experience. Why am I not getting it? Because we are not going broke. We are not willing to. We want to hold this also, and we want to hold this also. And so therefore, we neither get this nor that. We keep remaining somewhere in between. But if we knew that if I really want to hold this everything together, then I have to let go of one of them. And once I experience that, then you would know directly what is this joy, what is this divinity, what is it that brings synchronicity in life, what is it that makes you be present everywhere at the same time, right? Because if you keep holding on to what you know and what you like and what you are comfortable with, if you are not willing to put yourself into a state of what I call as you have to go broke here. A gambler sometimes has to go broke, and he has to actually let go of everything. Unless you go broke, you don't experience that. Ramana had to experience himself, he had to go broke and he had to go through death, the process of death, to experience what it is about. Do I really die when I die? Does the self cease existence? And he understood that this body and this mind was just an illusion. And this body and mind duo keeps creating this illusion for us again and again. And we are so badly trapped. And that's why the only way to pierce this delusion is having the right knowledge, the right understanding. And that knowledge has been provided to each one of you. You understand what you need to do and what you let go of. And the delay is completely at our end. Neither the Guru, nor the God, nor the circumstances, nor the war in Israel or Ukraine or Palestine or Russia has anything to do with, because the wars are just going to continue and increase, and many more countries are going to come in. So if you keep looking for the right circumstances and the right time and the right opportunity, for the right moment to be prepared, if you have that one last wish to be still fulfilled, then of course it will happen when you are ready. So we can wait from here till end of perpetuity. The day we decide to move forward and let go of what we are holding back on, then that day the experiences will come. And this mind is so tricky. This mind is such a devil. It will also get you into traps of visions and and dreams and experiences of a different level and dimension. And we think, so we start, if we believe that the dream is unreal as we wake up, don't we realize that what we are experiencing now with our mind is also unreal? And that unreal is what we are prisoners of. And we have to break that shackle. Now, we are all very intelligent people, remember, rational people. Ask yourself, if you're caught in this trap of this Maya, as we say, as Shankaracharya said, Brahm Satya Jagan Mithya. This Jagan, if it is a Mithya, and if you know that we are trapped in it, and if you're constantly keep using the faculties of your mind in which you are trained, will you ever be able to break it? How can you reach that Brahman? How can you experience that when you know you are trapped? And you continue, because your actions are, how are we trapped? Because our actions are exactly, they are not changing. We're still processing the same way. We are, we're so clever. Our mind is so clever. We will give up physical comforts. We will give up, our food. We will give up our clothes. We will do all these things because they are easy. But at the back end, we are still holding on to things. And it will, and we say, it's not happening. It's not happening, right? Because you're not willing to let go. You're doing something, then you say, no, but what a long journey I have made. It's such a long journey. Look what a sacrifice I've made. Yeah, but what's the use? If I were you, I would have done it in half the time. I would have done everything in one go. But what do? We like that. We go and we want to give. We go out in the market, and there's a beggar who's looking for some money, right? So if we have 100 rupees in our pocket, and that's the only currency note that we have, but we think that we should be paying only 10 rupees to the beggar, we will end up not paying anything at all, because we think we don't have. If we give everything, then we are not keeping anything with us, right? And because of that, neither do we give that 10 rupees to the beggar, nor do we ever get rid of that 100 rupees currency note in our pocket. So unless and until we are willing to let go of it and say, okay, I give up. I'm not holding anything back for myself that I might need it on the way. It's okay if I don't have that. At least somebody's, need is met. My need is going to be met from that real source, which never abandons us actually. It just awakens us from our slumber of this mind when it actually takes mercy on us and says, okay, now it's the time to awaken this soul. Once we have understood everything, once we awakened to this reality that the real is not real and there is something inside of us which is real, then at least we should not even waste a single minute to have that experience. But we never sit and think at our actions, that are we fully into it, or are we half-hearted into it, are we quarter-hearted into it, or we are three-fourths into it. So whatever we are still holding on to, only we know it. And unless we have a honest conversation with ourselves, because that if I am constructing that as my new reality, why am I holding on to the older reality? Do you see what I'm saying? This older reality does not allow us to. Actually, nobody is stopping us. Nobody is stopping us to be self realized here and now. It's only the mind and us not letting go. And then we say, we have sacrificed so much, but we are still not getting it. It's because you're not letting go, you're not wanting to move forward. There is this pull that keeps pulling you back, that these attractions that keep bringing you back. There is this this stranglehold of expectation and attachments which has got us in a vice-like grip, and it doesn't allow us to move forward. I want this also, I want that also. I want to enjoy this reality also, but I want to also experience the reality within me. No, hold on. You know it, that cannot happen unless you have first experienced this inner reality. And once you, because the outer reality you've already experienced, you are experts at it. Unless you dive in and fully go broke on the other side to experience the inner reality, you'll have to let go of the external reality, no? And once you have experienced the other one also, then you will come and find a balance somewhere. But till that time, the outer reality does not allow you to move forward. You're willing to let go, but you're not willing to let go. You're wanting to move forward, but you're not wanting to move forward. So we take these two steps forward and one step backwards every time, every time. And there is some other fascination that we get distracted with, and we start moving into that. For the one who is focused on this goal, it brings everything together like this. It does not allow. This is called Viveka. That Viveka and Vairagya, when they come together, then constantly we are in contemplation of what is that which is permanent, and we are always rejecting all that is transitory. Any knowledge, any people who bring to us this knowledge of what is transitory, what is illusory, which is not going to help me on my path of experience the truth within, as long as we do not reject it outright, as long as we do say, no, I am not interested, as long as we do not develop distaste, a complete abhorrence of all that takes me towards the world, till that time, it will keep coming in through various sources and various friends and various family, and it will keep springing leaks in our boat. So, till the constant, the mind is trained now only to constantly reflect upon what is permanent, and it rejects anything that takes you on the path of the temporary world. Nityam Anityam Viveka Vicharam. That at all times it is in this higher contemplation of the truth. And it is not interested, it's like the bee is not interested in going to any flower which has no honey to offer it. It will only go to those flowers which have a fragrance, because the one which has fragrance has also something to offer, and it will go there only. It will not go and sit on a cactus. It will not go and sit on a leaf. It's not interested in any of that, however beautiful it might look. So we have to first say no to everything else. Unless that search becomes single minded, obsessive, compulsive, and 24 by 7, and you will be tested on this. You may say I am ready, but in that instant you will be tested. And normally we, the first temptation that comes, the first question that comes, we fall for it. And that clarity, once that clarity comes, self-realization comes. So nobody is giving you self-realization. Nobody is stopping your self-realization. You do not have to go into any holy place, ritual, or a guru, or a mandir, or a church, or any place to experience it. The lock also we have put in, and the key is also in our hands. We just don't use it. If you want to enter your own home, who can stop you? It's a realization of the self is already there. You're just standing outside with the door is locked, and you're looking for the key all the time. If I were you, I would have broken the lock and I would have barged in. Can any door, any lock prevent us from entering in? It's only our lack of clarity. So I urge all of you, I pray to all of you, please let go of all the stupid, unnecessary attachments that you have in this world. Go broke towards experiencing, and I can tell you, you'll never regret it. You'll never regret that decision of yours where you just move into it fully, completely, because what comes after that is so beautiful. Because if you keep using our mind, we will keep projecting, we will keep creating every time a new reality. You will keep projecting people, you will keep projecting your relationships, you will keep projecting the pain and suffering. What is pain and suffering? I want to also talk about it today. We keep saying we need therapists, we have so much of pain in our life, we have so much of trauma that we have carried. What trauma are we talking about? Our soul is stainless, sinless. Our soul is so pure. It is like a burning fire. Can anything actually give it a trauma, or it can trouble it? It's all in your mind, because you hold on to things, because you give importance to it. There are hundreds of therapists practicing, having hundreds of theories about everything. What you believe in becomes your reality. If says, oh, who is it who hasn't had troubles growing up? Who hasn't had troubles in relationships? Who hasn't trouble? If there were no troubles, we would have not grown at all. But what do? We hold on to them. When life is transitory, when life is just a fleeting passing cloud, what are you holding on to? What is trauma? Trauma is nonsense. Trauma is our forcibly holding on to something which it didn't even exist. It just came and went. It came as a teacher. But we are holding pain, creating pain, and creating a body inside it. And we are, because some psychologist has written some books and some people have given theories, we start believing in everything. Why don't you believe that you are Atman, you are that pure consciousness, and in that consciousness nothing can get stuck ever. So where is the question of our having any trauma, where we need a therapist? But if you believe that you have a trauma and if you believe you need a therapist, then of course no one can get you out of it unless you've spent thousands of dollars and pounds and euros or rupees, because that's what everybody does. They've made you believe that that is what it is, the truth. So whatever you believe is what you manifest. Yat bhavam tat bhavati. Everything is a construct of the mind. If you give it attention, it grows, it becomes your reality, and you suffer from it. So if you think you have allergies, then of course you will have allergy, because some doctor told you have an allergy, and we believed it. And for our entire life, we will live with the stigma that I have an allergy. And then, like a fool, we'll be scared, to touch that thing. You have these symptoms, okay, you now have a gluten problem. You have these symptoms, then you must be having this, challenge. And we believe them. Of course, that's how it is. That's how we get put into one more box. We move from one box into another box because somebody has written some beautiful thing. Oh, yeah, 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 that's how it is. and and every day we keep constructing more realities. We never think that this is nonsense. This is only for those who are in the world of the mind. The only question which is important on the path of spiritual life, of experiencing the self, is the question how. And Baba very beautifully said that is the only relevant question, because how deals with human values, the 5 values. And it is the path of how we must do, which what brings the role of Guru in our life. The Guru is the one who can tell us how we can negotiate and how we can experience this truth within ourselves. But what do? We don't believe our Guru. We fight with the Guru. We find reasons for what, because what suits us, what is convenient to us, we follow. We are like those, patients who go to the doctor gives us medicine. Then, we say, no, 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 this medicine I will not take because, some time back I had this problem side effect. And we've saved it in our memory. So half the medicines we take, half the medicines, some other person says, no, no, don't take this allopathy, take Ayurveda. And then somebody says, no, no, take homeopathic. And somebody says something else. And we end up, this is our life actually. It happens to all of us. We're such confused people. Then somebody says, this is organic, this is herbal. And because it costs 10 times more, we start to go in for all those things. Just because we have money to burn, we keep doing one crazy thing after another thing. Because somebody has given us this idea. And we start believing it. And we start constructing reality after reality, reality after reality. So, and we get trapped. We move out of one trap one day, and the next day we are walking into 2 more traps because we found this YouTube video, or we found this guy who just talks about a new theory. And unless you are clear that all this is part of the illusion, and there are thousands of realities being created. Somebody says, time is so auspicious. In Indians believe that there is auspiciousness of time, and they will not do. A lot of people will not do anything outside that time. That means the rest of the world, which is non-Indian, which does not believe in time, they are all do things in inauspicious moments, right? It is auspicious for the Indians because they believe it is auspicious, so it works for them. And the others, because they don't know about it and they keep doing it, do you think they are harming themselves all the time? No, because they are living their own reality. But we are confused. We just listen to some things and we say, okay, let's do it. And today's Maya world is the Maya world of YouTube and internet and Instagram and Facebook, because hundreds of realities are being posted. Everybody has something to sell. You will rarely find a guru who doesn't want anything himself. Everybody wants something. They will say, do this course for this much you pay. Then they will send you emails and they will call you up to find out if you have done it. Then they want you to do the next version. Then they've said, okay, you've now done this, then now we will take you to the next level. Everybody is selling something. Everybody has a shop. Everybody has a business that they are promoting. And we keep falling for this. We do these asanas, we have to do this thing, we do that thing, we do, we constantly, or we are chanting, or we are doing this. As long as we are doing something, we are so happy. And the real, which is there and saying, come on, recognize me. So what do we do when we follow this internal path? The minute the mind puts some questions, we forget all the 40 lessons we've learned in the pathless path or the Atma Chalisa. We just pick up one and we forget all the things we have learned. We never sit and talk to ourselves. No, but this is what my understanding is. And that is called manana. That is called reflection. That is called contemplation. Thinking about things about future is not manana. People say, but this is what I think. Thinking is not contemplation, please. Understand, discriminate. And when something is happening with you, you don't have to instantly take it out of your system. You don't have to just, as the expression goes, spit it out. You have to hold it inside and let it move around in your system. Regurgitate. Let it go in, let it, and discriminate with your viveka, with your intellect, whatever you have learned on this new path. And that contemplation will throw the fallacy, the traps of the mind. But if you're going to keep reacting to the mind all the time, then of course that understanding does not become permanent with you. It doesn't give you the experience that you're looking for. So that's why we say you have to be on a constant vigil. Nityam anityam viveka vicharam. That contemplation has to be constant, and you have to be alert, not to be sidetracked, not to get caught up with the challenges of the mind. And when you can spot, and whenever you slip, it's okay. We all are practicing, right? We will get caught, but in that instant, become silent, go within, withdraw, and see for it. And take responsibility for all that is happening in your life. Only we and we alone are responsible for it. And when you take responsibility for it, and instead of putting it on somebody else, blaming it on somebody else, it's so easy to blame it. When you take responsibility for what's happening in your life, then you can do something about it. And when you can do something about it, you can solve the problem. There are no scapegoats. There are no victims in this. There is only an experience. And what experience comes? When you put it with forgiveness and you apply the balm of love and you accept people for who they are, you start becoming equanimous. And once you get equanimous, everything is revealed to you and you experience yourself. That's the only practice we need to do. Why we need to practice it? Because we are in the bad habit of the mind. We are in bad habit or the conditioning of how we have lived our life using the mind. That's why this practice is required. That's why this 40 days we did. And we said, it's not that, you go on to chapter 20 and you forget what happened from chapter 1 to 19. You have to carry, when you go into chapter 20, then you are actually carrying the summary of all the 19 into the 20th, so that you progressively move forward and it becomes an experiential process. Right? So this is what Shankaracharya ji meant, that Jagat is a mithya. This is how actually at a day-to-day level we are creating this illusion constantly, because we are investing in it, we are giving it attention to it, we read it, we see videos around it, and it becomes part of us, and then we act according to it. But if there is a newer reality, the only way that newer reality will become your reality is when you start walking on that path that has been specified and you say no to the earlier path, right? So, therefore, you cannot walk both the paths at the same time. You walk one successfully, job well done, you accomplish that. Now you're walking within, then you have to let go of the other. Then only you'll experience it. And once you do, then you'll exactly know what the truth is, and you will know exactly what you need to do. And so you've gone to the extreme left, now you go to the right, and then you find your balance in the center. So that's what I wanted to share with you, because we are now reaching the deep end of our journeys. We are coming to a point where this inflection is going to happen for us, and we'll have to cross over ourselves. Nobody can make you cross. I can hold your hand, but you'll have to follow me. If you trust me, you will follow me. If you don't trust me, you cannot follow me. And if you follow, then you will have to take your steps. I can't walk for you. I can ask you to walk behind me, but you will have to walk on your own. But if you have fears, we have insecurities, we are not sure, we want to carry 10 people also along with us, sorry, everybody has come on their personal journey. Even if, husband wife are sitting together and they both want to go, husband and wife can help each other to go. But the husband cannot do the journey for the wife, and the wife cannot do the journey for the husband. Each will have to take their own steps. Yeah? We can encourage, we can motivate, we can assist, but we can't do it for anybody else. So there you are. Love you all. And we're all there. We are so close. And I'm sure everybody is going to step forward and do what needs to be done. So I thank you all for being here today. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.